Hello and welcome to Anfield Index for the latest Late Night Live episode. I'm joined this evening by Lola. I was just saying in the green room, Liverpool have won a game of football away from home. Hope you're well, Lola. And what a win.
I don't know. I don't know how to react because I really wasn't, you do preparation when you're doing assignments like this. And I fully prepared for a Liverpool defeat, which feels very, very pessimistic to say. But yeah, I actually watched it with the sound off because sometimes I just can't bear Ali McCoist. So I genuinely feel a real mixture of emotions. But yeah, obviously delighted to get the win.
Yeah, so Reds, if you are watching on the repeat or if you're watching live, do let us know you play the match as well. Who stood out for you tonight, of course? As everyone knew, Sunderland's unbeaten at home this season. A lot of teams have struggled, but I think obviously Liverpool's bar so far this season is very low, as we all speak about tonight. But I think we certainly did raise the bar a bit more higher anyway tonight, Lola. But in terms of straight to get to your man of the match, who was your man of the match really that stood out for you tonight? Who do you think really impressed you?
Well, it genuinely would have been Wataru Endo if he hadn't come off. I just thought he was magnificent. You could see from the very start, even hours before kickoff, you were seeing the pictures of people arriving in Sunderland and it looked grey as anything, horrible, rain pissing down, wind blowing around the stadium. And I was just thinking, God, this is not a night for how we've played this season. And then Endo shows up. I think it was his first Premier League start of the season and just grafts his bollocks off, wins every tackle. I mean, I may be exaggerating here. It might not have been every tackle, but it felt like he got his head on everything and won everything and just was willing to play the game on Sunderland's terms and was willing to win the physical fight. So it absolutely would have been him if he hadn't come off injured. And, he probably still is my man of the match. But then the other guy that deserves a massive shout out is Ibu Konate, who has not had the best of seasons. We don't know how much he's been affected by what's going on with his family, but since he came back from that compassionate leave, he's not put a foot wrong. He was excellent against Manchester City on Sunday, and he was excellent tonight and really relished that physical battle with Robbie and came out on top. So Ibu Konate would be my man in the match, closely followed by Wataru Endo.
Anyway, but Lola, we've mentioned obviously Endo, Konate, obviously the two crucial blocks as well. The second half, obviously, we alluded to, but there was some intelligent defending and crucial defending from Konate, especially in that second half. We need those two lads, not just tonight, but for the weeks and months to come. Anyway, but just your analysis on the back line or anyone else that we haven't really touched on for you.
Well, I think Andy Robbo needs a shout out because he was fantastic tonight, and I actually thought Kirkes did really well against Manchester City. So I was surprised. I was surprised Robbo started, but then actually when you factor in the conditions, how difficult of an opponent Sunderland are, it made a lot of sense to start Andy Robbo. I think actually Konate and Van Dijk really benefited from having the experience of Endo and Robertson either side, because often you've seen Van Dijk this season compensating for the mistakes of others. And that's been Konate at times, but it's, he pops up in spaces you don't expect to see him. And actually, it ends up reflecting really badly on Van Dijk, but it's not often you can see that he's almost anticipating mistakes elsewhere. And I feel like tonight, Endo and Robertson were exactly where Van Dijk and Konate expected them to be and wanted them to be. And there were a few times on the set pieces, on the long throws and the corners, you could see Van Dijk kind of communicating with Robertson, but it was actually very different. I've seen Van Dijk shouting at Kirkes and I've seen him
screaming at him.
Yeah, and I've seen him shouting at Frimpong and Bradley, and I've seen him shouting at Trent back in the day. But there was a trust there and a security, and I think that spread across the whole back line and was a massive part of why we were able to restrict them to quite limited chances of high quality. So to a man, I think they did excellently. And I think Robertson deserves massive credit to come in and put a performance in that was that strong.
And I suppose moving into the off the field stuff, a bit of it does link to that last night. And it's almost making me sad what I'm going to put on the screen, because many were maybe surprised that Endo starts at right back. But as that says, he won the most duels, 7 on the pitch, made clearances, 7, won tackles, 2. Got to be honest, though, for that good performance, it looks a bad one. And the way Arne Slot was speaking, you think there's potential this is a season ender, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll just have to kind of see on that one, to be honest. It's a real shame because it was a great performance, and I just thought he was so solid down that side. You worried when they started with pace down that flank. Oh, this could be a bit of a torrid time for him because he's not the quickest, but he was good with his timing and everything in terms of just being in the right place at the right time. And I think he thought he did everything well defensively that he needed to. And it's kind of one of those really. You just wonder, could Slot, don't want to be overly critical, but could Slot have just got a little bit more use out of him at times this season? Because he's clearly capable. I know he's not, the kind of holding midfielder that Liverpool dream of and that, they're going to want to play in every game, because he's not as comfortable as a McAllister or a Gravenberch when it comes to having the ball at his feet. But he's a really committed defender. He can just be useful, I think. And, he proved that under Jurgen Klopp. And I just think it was its second Premier League start under Arne Slot. Right, that's crazy, isn't it? And there's been times where you could have justified using him a bit more. So, he's just a really good player and a great pro. It's just a real shame about that injury. Hopefully it turns out it's not as bad as was first feared, but we'll see on that. I think he's undergoing a scan, I think, today. And we'll find out a little bit more. I hope it's not as bad.
Yeah, even just for him, hopefully, because we'll have that World Cup dream with Japan as well. So hopefully that's not affected either at the same time. And I suppose in terms of, because that position seems cursed, doesn't it? Let's be honest, right back. But Joe Gomez came on. It's sounding like Frimpong is on the way back as well. So it might not be absolute disaster even despite Endo's injury.
Yeah, so hopefully Frimpong not too far away, and as you say, Joe Gomez back is really important. I thought he was great when he came on. By the way, Gomez really composed. Again, we say it every time. It's just he just can't stay fit, but what a player he is when he is fit. So really good to have him back as an option. And they need them there because that obviously right back is looking very, very thin. It's pretty unbelievable, really, that you've kind of to lose your 2 first choice right backs, to lose Szoboszlai to suspension, to then lose Endo as well to injuries. It's just remarkable, really. And that the injuries have been so concentrated in that position. So, but it's good news that it's kind of easing up a little bit. And it'd be really nice to get Frimpong back. But Gomez is a really good start as well.
Yeah, and fingers crossed on every Endo scan. And